while you never shed a tear. Remember, I remember all that you said. Told me love was to the be and told me you were through with me, and now you say you love me. Well, just to prove that you do.
Good morning, everyone. My name is David Fisher. We're pleased to celebrate our graduates from the Bachelor of Arts and Bachelor of Science in the Faculty of Arts and Science. At this time, I would like to acknowledge the talented group of individuals behind me under the direction of Raymond Buree, who comprise the MacEwan University Big Band. I would like to remind you that the Winspear Center is an acoustically responsive hall, so we ask that if you're carrying any electronic devices, you take a moment now to turn them off for the duration of the ceremony. If you need to step outside of the concert hall, the Winspear has monitors in the lobby with which you can watch the ceremony. A professional photographer will be taking photographs of the graduates as they cross the stage and backstage after they have received their parchments. Information on how to obtain the photos will be forwarded to graduates at a later date. We will have another short musical interlude, and then we will begin the ceremony. Thank you very much. Once again, please join me in a round of applause for the MacEwan University Big Band. Everyone, if you are able, please rise. At this time, I am pleased to introduce the mace bearer for this ceremony. Dr. Sarah Graywall, Associate Professor from the Faculty of Arts and Science, is carrying the university's mace, which was donated to the university in 1997 by its namesake, Dr. Grant MacEwan, and became the official mace in 2008. It is especially meaningful to the university as it was hand-carved by Dr. MacEwan. Further information on the mace and other convocation traditions can be found in your convocation program. The faculty procession is led by Dr. Rodney Schmaltz, Associate Professor from the Faculty of Arts and Science. Please remain standing for the academic procession.
Please be seated. I am delighted to welcome you to this morning's in-person convocation ceremony. Today's convocation is indeed a wonderful and celebratory one as we recognize our graduates for their achievements at MacEwan University. Graduates, distinguished guests, members of the stage party, faculty, staff, and all others in attendance, my name is Dr. Annette Trimby, and I'm President and Vice Chancellor of MacEwan University. I would first like to take the time to acknowledge that the land on which we gather in Treaty 6 territory is the traditional gathering place for many Indigenous people. We honor and respect the history, languages, ceremonies, and culture of the First Nations, Métis, and Inuit peoples who call this territory home. The First Peoples' connection to the land teaches us about our inherent responsibility to protect and respect Mother Earth. With this acknowledgement, we honor the ancestors and children who have been buried here, missing and murdered Indigenous women and men, and the process of ongoing collective healing for all human beings. We are reminded that we are all treaty people and of the responsibility we have to one another. This week, as part of our Convocation ceremonies, we recognize and celebrate Indigenous Peoples Day. Created in 1982, it is an important day of acknowledgement, solidarity, and celebration. Recognizing the history and future of Indigenous peoples across Canada is appropriate as we celebrate education and learning. I am so pleased we are able to incorporate the voices of our Indigenous community and the talent and creativity of Indigenous musicians. I would like to invite Dr. and Elder Francis Whiskey Jack for an Indigenous invocation. Protocol has been offered in advance.
Tansi kakyo nuago maganak tawao. It is a real honor to be here to preside with a simple invocation on behalf of our colleagues, the platform, all the parents, for the graduates, all of you graduates, and all the friends that support this beautiful ceremony. So with that, today, most humbly, I ask you to join me with your spirit as has been given to you, your physical presence, your mindset, and your emotion. It is through our teachings that have always been a big part of our lifestyle and how we honor the guardian spirits that look after you. What we know as the grandfathers, the grandmothers, may be for you, angels and saints. And so we acknowledge that spirit in a good way. And we acknowledge our physical and give thanks for the movement that we have upon this earth, Mother Earth, and also for the animals that give their lives so that we can be healthy in our physical forms. For this mind that you all have in your great achievements today to celebrate the learnings that you all have had and also the choices that you make in this life. And that emotion in remembering Aboriginal Day yesterday, and that's the continuance of our life to know the choices that we make in a healthy lifestyle. In both our happy times when we celebrate, but also in the sad times, our grieving times. So today, bear with me as I say this simple prayer on behalf of you in my native language, which is Cree. Yuksmaga mamutawi mao se mantukak se watsin. Anutsumuta kape mamupia. Umutak slamaksun tas msawaitame. Minagaki uguta kawib mute tsikuta. Tam sawimi tsik miunukti keise. Mista he nanaskamon. Epe miumatsihuya. Minumuta hepe ukremitaya. Matsun. Askina. Minute kisiguna kap maitemuya. Sawi tamunan kaki ogiwe. Minagaki onge on kamuak. Minagaki uguta muagumaganak. Epse aihain and maitan. All my relations.
Thank you, Dr. and Elder Francis Whiskey Jack. Thank you for reminding us of the choices that we all make in sad and happy times, and for starting us off with that wonderful prayer. The celebration and sharing of Indigenous culture are key to building a strong future for Indigenous people here at MacEwan in Edmonton and across the country. I'm grateful now to be able to welcome Latana Wachiwi Alexis from Alexis Nakota Sioux Nation and Laurencia Tutusis from Poundmaker, Saskatchewan. Lutana is a fancy dancer and Laurencia is a jingle dress dancer. They will be joined by the Logan Alexis Singers. The Logan Alexis Singers is a round dance group composed of family members and protégés of the late Logan Alexis, respected elder of the community of the Alexis First Nation. Thank you, Lutana, Laurencia, and the Logan Alexis Singers. What a wonderful performance. Thank you very much for celebrating with us today. Now, please stand for the singing of our national anthem, led by Miranda Smith.
Our home and native land, true patriot love in all of us command. With glowing hearts we steadily rise, the true north strong and free. From far and wide, oh Canada, we stand on guard for thee. God be my land, glorious and free. Oh Canada, we stand on guard for thee. Oh Canada, we stand on guard for thee.
I now have the privilege of introducing Dr. Tony Fields, MacEwan's first Chancellor. We were honored when Dr. Fields took on the role of MacEwan's first Chancellor last spring. Dr. Fields has had a long and distinguished career in medicine as a physician, teacher, researcher, and administrator. Most recently, he was a professor of oncology at the University of Alberta and vice president of cancer care for Alberta Health Services before retiring in 2011. Please join me in welcoming Dr. Fields to officially open Convocation.
Welcome to MacEwan University's Spring 2022 Convocation. I have the honor and pleasure of conferring your academic credentials today. As Chancellor, I declare MacEwan University's Convocation open. At this academic ceremony, we will honor our 2022 graduates by conferring degrees, diplomas, and certificates, and we will recognize the outstanding achievements of the students of MacEwan University. Graduation from a university is one of the substantial passages in life, and it deserves to be showcased and celebrated at a ceremony shared with one's classmates, loved ones, and teachers. The COVID-19 pandemic prevented us from holding in-person spring convocations in 2020 and 2021. It is wonderful to be back to our fulsome tradition in this year, 2022, the year in which we also celebrated MacEwan's 50th anniversary. I extend a warm welcome to all of you who are here today, also to those who are joining us online. Graduates, today is all about you, and we are honored to be here to celebrate your achievements. During your years at MacEwan, you applied yourselves diligently to your studies. You rose to the challenges inherent in advanced learning, also to the complexities and constraints caused by the pandemic. You gained valuable knowledge and you learned key skills. You also acquired important attributes such as collegiality, empathy, and curiosity. Your knowledge, skills, and attributes are the tools that will help you succeed in whatever field of work or further study you choose, enriching your careers and benefiting the communities you influence. Our world is changing, and the pace of change is increasing. Our experiences of just the past 2 years have underscored this reality. None of us can predict with certainty the challenges and opportunities that we will face in our individual future paths. This uncertainty means that while your post-secondary credential will open doors for you, it is not a cruise control button. Adaptability to change will be a valuable asset. I encourage you to embrace the value of lifelong learning, so critical to meeting challenges and benefiting from opportunities. We believe that your time and experiences at MacEwan will have helped to prepare you to face the uncertainties of the future and to adapt to them. Indeed, we hope that we have sparked in you the ambition to shape a better future for our world and our societies, rather than simply cope with what the future throws at you. Thus, be curious about your changing world. Pose questions and seek answers. Engage with and learn from those around you. Recognize and harness the synergistic power of teamwork. As you graduate, you join the growing community of MacEwan alumni. Collectively, you and your fellow alumni demonstrate the many benefits that education at MacEwan contributes to our society across many disciplines and within our public, private, and voluntary sectors. I look forward to conferring your credentials here today, and I also look forward to what you will accomplish in the future.
Thank you, Dr. Fields, and I can attest from knowing Dr. Fields for, decades, that he definitely lives the values that he speaks of. He is a very compassionate, kind, lifelong learner who is also very courageous, and we're very fortunate to have him join the MacEwan community. It is now my pleasure to introduce members of the stage party. Members of the stage party, please remain standing once you have been called. Members of the audience, please hold your applause until everyone has been introduced. You have already met the Chancellor, Dr. Tony Fields. Next to him is our Board of Governors Chair, Carolyn Graham, and our Provost and Vice President Academic, Dr. Craig Monk. Would members of our Board of Governors rise, please? Would our Deans and Vice Presidents rise, please? I will now ask our Associate Vice Presidents and Associate Deans to stand, please. I would like to acknowledge our honorary doctorate recipient, Dr. Sarah Carter. I would like to recognize our distinguished alumni, Vivian Yang. Would other members of the University Administration rise, please? I will now ask the representatives of each of our associations, faculty, staff, alumni, and students to stand. And would Dr. and Elder Francis Whiskey Jack please rise? I will now ask the mace bearer, distinguished proctor, and all remaining faculty and staff of the university to stand, please. This is our 2022 Convocation stage party. Together, they represent all the faculty and staff from across the university who taught you, encouraged you, challenged you, supported you, and worked behind the scenes for you during your time at MacEwan University. And they are all honored to be here to celebrate with you today. Please join me in acknowledging all of them. Thank you, members of the stage party. You may now be seated. It is my pleasure to now invite Student Board Member Miles Dykes to read the MacEwan University Student Invocation.
Good morning, everyone. Through learning, we flourish and help others to flourish. We stand here today on the brink of important change for ourselves and for the world. Inspired by the past, we now step forward to transform the future. Engaging with others, we cherish the diversity of experiences within our communities and ourselves. Through perseverance, we excel. Through compassion, we connect. Through creativity, we thrive. Through knowledge, we grow. Through all this and more, let us forge a legacy to nurture, to endure, to inspire. Moved by this spirit, strong in our knowledge, we move out into the world with open arms, open hearts, and open minds. We pledge to leave the world better than we found it.
Thank you, Miles. Last spring, we conferred our first honorary doctorates, and today we are proud to confer another. We had extraordinary nominations for this year's honorary doctorates. As Edmonton's downtown university, MacEwan has developed a vibrant academic culture built on our deeply rooted community connections. Conferment of an honorary doctorate is the highest honor a university can grant a person. We recognize individuals who best illustrate the values and achievements that MacEwan graduates aspire to. They are chosen for their exemplary work, both in their field and for their impact in community. I would like to invite Carolyn Graham, Chair of the Board of Governors of MacEwan University, to introduce this ceremony's honorary doctorate recipient.
Good morning. Conferring honorary doctorates is an opportunity for our community to benefit from the reflection and insight of our remarkable recipients, to learn from their amazing achievements, the high standard that they've set, and the challenges they've overcome. In a moment, I'll ask Dr. Sarah Carter to come to the stage, but first, I'd like to speak to a few of her many accomplishments. Dr. Carter is an educator, collaborator, and scholar whose work has shaped our understanding of Western Canada's past. She has dedicated herself to the investigation of the previously overlooked stories and histories of women and Indigenous people of the Canadian prairies. She is both Henry Marshall Torrey Chair and Professor in the University of Alberta's Department of History and Classics and the Faculty of Native Studies. In 2020, she received the Canada Council Killam Prize for outstanding achievements in the fields of humanities. She is recipient of 3 fellowships with the Social Sciences and Humanities Research Council and a Myers Center Award for the study of human rights in North America for her work, The True Spirit and Original Intent of Treaty 7. Her 2016 book, Imperial Plots, Women, Land, and the Spade Work of British Colonialism in the Canadian Prairies, won several prizes, including the Governor-General's History Award for Scholarly Research. Dr. Carter is a Fellow of the Royal Society of Canada. As well, she has served as expert witness to several First Nations treaty land and economic entitlement claims, and her work was featured in the final report of the National Inquiry into Missing and Murdered Indigenous Women and Girls. Her book, Lost Harvests, changed the discipline of history's assessment of Indigenous communities' competence as farmers. It demonstrated the manner in which government officials conspired with non-Indigenous farmers to limit the success of Indigenous farmers. This book had a cascade effect on other disciplines, calling on scholars to better investigate the agency of Indigenous peoples during this era. She exemplifies the idea that what we teach, research, and participate in is directly connected to our place. As a student at the University of Saskatchewan, she didn't see the communities that surrounded her reflected in the histories presented in textbooks. She was inspired to pursue the exploration of these missing histories and the complex relationship between women, workers, and Indigenous people during the prairie settlement in Western Canada and the United States. Dr. Carter faced the challenge of identifying this gap in scholarship and took on groundbreaking research that investigates the colonial roots of inequality. Through her teaching, she passes on the essential skills that we believe MacEwan students should possess: critical thought and curiosity about the world. We hope that MacEwan graduates explore the complexities presented by history in their own work and education, and continue to broaden our collective knowledge of the world around us. We greatly appreciate that Dr. Carter is with us today to share her perspectives and inspire our community with her words. I'd like to welcome Dr. Carter to the stage and for Chancellor Fields to convey the honorary doctorate.
Thank you, Board Chair Graham. As Chancellor of MacEwan University, by authority of the powers vested in me, I do hereby confer upon you, Dr. Sarah Carter, the degree of Doctor of the University, honoris causa, and the honor and privileges that are proper to it. Congratulations, Dr. Carter. I now call upon the University Registrar to present you with the honorary doctorate hood.
Chancellor Fields, President Trimby, Board Chair Graham, MacEwan faculty and staff, graduates, their families and friends, I am tremendously pleased and humbled to accept this honorary degree. I want to first begin by sincerely and warmly congratulating the graduates. You've dealt with all the usual pressures and challenges of completing a degree, and on top of that, you've experienced the most trying and stressful 2 years to be a university student in generations. You've persevered, kept calm, and carried on, though I'm sure you had many anxious, frustrating, sad experiences over the past 2 years. But I believe we've learned things through this pandemic. We've learned to cherish the things that we once took for granted, the importance of family and friends, and our need to gather at ceremonies like this. We learned about the importance of the humanities, critical to an undergraduate education. The humanities foster justice and equality and empathy through learning languages, history, and about the diversity of cultures. We've needed understanding and empathy throughout the pandemic. We also learned about the importance of music, drama, art, and creativity, the creative programs for which MacEwan has such a strong and well-deserved reputation. I love that there's an award here in Dr. Trimby's name, for example, for country music students. We also learned that our universities are not just the bricks and mortar, that you can be part of the MacEwan community from anywhere in the world. The pandemic pointed out problems to be solved by people like you. When I asked friends and family what I ought to say to today's graduates, they said to say, we need you. We need you to change and save the world. We need your minds and creativity, inventiveness and imagination, all of which you are so steeped in here at MacEwan. Through the pandemic, there's a glimmer of hope that the planet can be saved. The planet got greener during the pandemic. The pandemic also pointed out that we need far more public spaces, particularly in inner cities. And this is an issue that MacEwan students are uniquely poised to undertake as an inner city university. The pandemic highlighted inequalities we need to address, from the homeless to the care homes to the radically unequal distribution of vaccines in high-income countries compared to low-income countries. This distinction has been awarded to me for my work as historian of the Prairie West, dedicated to studying the people marginalized from previous histories, Indigenous people and women in particular. Looking back to when I sat where you are now as a graduate, 46 years ago, I would have been astonished to think that I would be here accepting an honorary degree for my work in history. The idea would have seemed absolutely preposterous. But what I have learned is that things change, you will change. This is just the start. Writing and teaching history was mainly an activity for men when I was an undergraduate, and that's changed radically in my lifetime. Nor did I have a goal and a dream of writing and teaching history. It was a series of small steps and overcoming hurdles, and one step at a time, of gradually building confidence and thinking I could make it to the next step. But I did have an inner core of determination through my undergraduate studies, and I'm grateful to all my professors. I learned to research, write, and communicate, as you all have at MacEwan. But I also learned as an undergraduate to be critical and to ask questions. I wasn't always brave and bold about my critiques and questions, but I eventually learned to be bolder and braver. I've learned through researching, writing, and teaching history that there's always something new to discover, to argue, to place before the public, that can cause them to rethink the way they look at the past, and by association, the present. I learned there's nothing inevitable about what happened in the past. Different outcomes were possible. It was not natural and inevitable that there would be inequalities based on gender, race, and ethnicity, education, class, and income. All of these were person-made. What they built can be dismantled. I'm also pleased to receive this award at an institution named for a distinguished Western Canadian historian. I didn't read Grant MacEwan as a student way back, as he didn't write academic history. And he did not write the sort of history I do today, and he likely would not approve of the academic history I write. But he was remarkable for his time with his interest in ordinary people, and this included Indigenous people, homesteaders, farmers. He wrote 48 books, aside from all the other things he did. He created an awareness of our history at a time when academic historians looked down on histories of this region. No one was doing Indigenous histories. Academics looked down on histories of the West as parochial and insignificant. But Grant MacEwan wrote about Indigenous peoples, including leaders Crowfoot, Poundmaker, Big Bear, and artists Alan Sapp, Gerald Tailfeathers. He believed understanding to be the first step in banishing prejudice. I attended Grant MacEwan's funeral in 2000 in Calgary, not because I knew him, but to pay respects for someone who had done so much. I didn't agree with everything he wrote by far, but I recognized he'd made a huge contribution for the rest of us to build on. So finally, I want to say to you, imagine a different world and take steps to create that world. It may be a Convocation speech cliche to invoke the words of John Lennon in his song Imagine, but I'm going to give that advice an Alberta twist. It was the summer of 1969, and the Nehiyawak Cree young woman and mother from Saddle Lake, Lillian Shirt, set up a teepee with her children right here, Churchill Square, just outside City Hall. and she was protesting discrimination in the housing and job market in our city. She got nationwide publicity, and her story came to the attention of John Lennon and Yoko Ono. They were in Montreal, where they were meeting all sorts of people and promoting peace from their hotel bed. They called it a bed-in. They heard about Lillian's protest, and Lennon asked to speak with her. A phone call was arranged through a radio station. As Lillian told it, she didn't know who she was speaking to, just that he had a thick English accent. She also said that at that time she didn't have a clue who the Beatles were or John Lennon. But Lennon asked her on the phone what inspired her, and she said the advice of her Cree grandmother, which was to imagine. Imagine a world where there was no hate, where we loved one another, and there would be no wars between us. She said it in Cree, and then she translated for Lennon. And Lennon asked right there and then if he could use that, and Lillian agreed. It was not until a few years later that she heard the song Imagined, and she recalled giving John Lennon permission to use the words of her Cree grandmother. It was my privilege to know Lillian, who died in 2017, and she just loved to tell that story with her infectious laugh. And she went on to be a very distinguished, accomplished activist for many causes throughout Alberta. So I call on you to imagine a different and better world as Lillian and her grandmother did, and take steps to create a more just and equitable world for all of us. Finally, don't forget your university as you go forward. Don't let critics and politicians persuade you that universities are valueless ivory towers. They are investments in the humanity of the future and the major problem solvers of our age. And finally, I want to thank my late husband, Walter Hildebrandt, without whom I wouldn't be here today. I know. Thank you.
Congratulations to Dr. Carter. It's such an honor to have you here with us today. You've encouraged our students to imagine a future. I didn't know that, the lyrics to that song and where they came from, and I will listen to it with a whole new lens, and I hope you will too. And she's absolutely right. We need you. And now you have a better understanding of why. The world needs more MacEwan graduates, which is why I'm so excited that we are graduating 2,200 graduates over these 3 days. Please. And I like to say we graduate students that are really whole human beings, that do have empathy, are brave and courageous. And I think you've just been given quite the call to action. So I would now like to invite our Provost and Vice President Academic, Dr. Craig Monk, to the podium to present the Distinguished Teaching and Research Awards.
Thank you, President Trimby. Good morning, everyone. What a wonderful event. So great to see so many of you, so great to see so many of our colleagues with us this morning. As I begin, let me first say that it has been my very great privilege to have known and to have been deeply influenced by the remarkable extended Carter family, from their legal minds to their influential poets. For the past 25 years, I'm so glad to have Dr. Sarah Carter as part of the MacEwan University family. Before I invite our first award winner to join me here, let me say that it's also my pleasure today to recognize the achievements of Dr. Nikolai Strungaru, one of our outstanding faculty members at MacEwan University, by presenting him with the 2022 Dr. Cheryl Brown Distinguished Research Award. One of our greatest honors, the Distinguished Research Award recognizes annually one faculty member whose scholarship demonstrates significant contributions locally, nationally, and perhaps internationally. A professor in the Department of Mathematics and Statistics, Dr. Strungaru has indeed built an international reputation for his groundbreaking research. He collaborates with colleagues around the world and is a key member of a group of international researchers working on the study of aperiodic order, a complex area of research that involves quasi-crystals. I was just thinking about quasi-crystals on the weekend. No, I wasn't. I wish I could. In addition to collaborating with these colleagues abroad, Dr. Strungaru also collaborates with students right here on campus. He regularly includes MacEwan undergraduate mathematics students in meaningful research, and he co-supervises graduate students from other institutions. This work, this blend of teaching and scholarship, exemplifies teaching greatness at MacEwan, where we teach what we ourselves have learned and where our research and creative activity is folded back into our pedagogy, in even as specialized a field as mathematics can be. Well, so I'm told. Now, Dr. Strungaru, please join me at the podium. Dr. Strungaru, I am thrilled to present you the 2022 Dr. Cheryl Brown Distinguished Research Award. I'd also like to say it's fabulous that we are here in person. Great not to be worried about whether or not I'm on mute or if my camera's on. Assume everyone can see me and hear me. So with the further indulgence of the Assembly, I'd now like to present the 2022 Distinguished Teaching Award. Before I invite our award winner to join me here, let me say that it's also my pleasure today to recognize the achievements of Dr. Christine Peace, another one of our outstanding faculty members at MacEwan University, by presenting her with one of our highest honors. The Distinguished Teaching Award acknowledges MacEwan faculty members who excel in instruction. It celebrates outstanding teaching ability and a commitment to educational leadership. Dr. Peace is an associate professor in the Department of Psychology and is a respected scholar in the field of forensic psychology. In addition to being a passionate educator, she's a dedicated mentor and supports student researchers in a variety of ways, from supervising independent studies to collaborating in publication. Connectivity, accessibility, productivity, and exploration. These form what Dr. Peace calls her CAPE principles. Organization around CAPE demonstrates how mindful and meticulous she is in her approach to teaching, and how dedicated is Dr. Peace in embodying the best of what she has learned about pedagogy in her engagement with her students. And to be honest, CAPE sounds better than, say, PECA. C-A-P-E. Her exemplary teaching centered around these principles, and in her work she seeks to provide students with the necessary skills to flourish. In the community, Dr. Peace is highly sought as a consultant on legal cases relevant to her study. Now, Dr. Peace, please join me at the podium. Dr. Peace, your passion for teaching exemplifies teaching greatness, and I am thrilled to present you with the 2022 Distinguished Teaching Award. Congratulations.
Thank you, Dr. Monk, and congratulations to Dr. Strungaru and Dr. Peace. I now invite Chancellor Fields to join me for the presentation of graduands and conferring of credentials. Graduands, if you are able, please rise. On behalf of the faculties and schools of MacEwan University, I present these graduands and those named in the Convocation program who are not at this ceremony. I ask that they be admitted to the MacEwan University credentials that they have earned.
By virtue of the authority vested in me by the province of Alberta, and upon the recommendation of MacEwan University's General Faculties Council, I admit you to the degree, diploma, or certificate to which you are entitled, and I invest in you all the rights and privileges, powers and responsibilities pertaining to that credential. Now, I bestow upon you this credential as a solemn trust to transform, to engage, and to improve the world. From this day forth, to teach and to learn from others, so that through your learning we may all flourish. Congratulations, graduates.
Please be seated. We will now take this time for a special presentation. MacEwan would like to grant posthumous degrees to 2 students who sadly passed away. Together, we will celebrate the academic achievements of these students who made great strides towards their goals. I'd like to invite Dean Shalaman to speak about each student and present their degrees.
Thank you, President Trimby. These degrees are a testament to the hard work of these students during their time with us. Each parchment is a gesture of remembrance, respect, and tribute. We now grant the degree of Bachelor of Arts in Sociology to Ashley Albert Hunter. Ashley was a determined, hard worker who was an active member of our MacEwan community. We were fortunate to have her as a peer advisor within MacEwan's Indigenous Centre, Kew Watson. Ashley also served as president of our Indigenous Students Club. Ashley, you will be deeply missed by all. I would like to acknowledge Ashley's family who are in attendance today. We welcome her mother, Shirley, and her eldest son, Cashton, to come forward to accept Ashley's degree. We now grant the degree of Bachelor of Science in Psychology to Carissa Alstad. Carissa was boldly herself and loved everything purple and shiny. She was a brilliant student and dreamed of one day earning a PhD in psychology, choosing MacEwan as the first step on her academic journey. Carissa, you will be greatly missed by all. I would like to acknowledge Carissa's family who are in attendance today. We invite her sister Kayla to come forward to accept this degree. Thank you, Kayla. We are honored to grant these degrees to commemorate Ashley's and Carissa's academic achievements. Today, let's remember to be proud of everything these 2 young women accomplished.
Thank you, Dean Shalaman. And thank you to the families of Ashley Albert Hunter and Carissa Olsted for sharing your beautiful children with us for a short time and for being here. We are now going to have a music break that I think will help us deal with the emotions we're feeling right now. We're going to invite the Logan Alexis Singers to return to the stage to perform with Bronson LaChance. Bronson is a youth men's traditional dancer. He hails from the Mikisew Cree Nation and tells stories through his traditional dancing and singing. Protocol was offered before the ceremony. Thank you, Bronson and the Logan Alexis Singers. In a moment, our marshals will bring our graduates to the stage. Off stage to your right is Jed Johns, MacEwan Alumni Association representative. Jed will present each graduate with a gift on behalf of the MacEwan University Alumni Association. The graduate procession is ordered by faculty and school. Student awards will be presented in advance of graduates. This will be the moment for the graduates to shine and be recognized for what you've accomplished. As you make your way across the stage, you'll see a mark right in front of me. Please pause for a quick photo, take a moment, wave to your friends and family who are here with you today. I am thrilled to welcome our graduates to the stage. After 2 years of virtual ceremonies, we celebrated our first in-person convocation in the fall, but this is our first really big spring convocation, and we are so excited to see our graduates walk across the stage. And although we won't be shaking hands today, I know all of us will be proudly watching and cheering as each graduate crosses the stage. Now, to help the graduates get ready to come on the stage, what we're going to do in the interim is the Logan Alexis Singers will perform an honor song as the graduates are being assembled. At this time, I invite Dr. Craig Monk, Provost and Vice President Academic, to come to the podium to present the Governor General Silver Bronze Medal.
Thank you, President Trimby. Created in 1873, the Governor General's academic medals are awarded by the Government of Canada. These medals represent the most prestigious award that Canadian students can receive, and the awards program encourages academic excellence across our nation. These medals are awarded at MacEwan University at 2 levels: bronze for a diploma recipient and silver for an undergraduate degree recipient. The Governor General's Silver Medal is awarded to the student who achieves the highest overall academic standing based on graduation grade point average upon completion of a post-secondary undergraduate degree program. As she comes forward to join me on stage, let me say a few words about Hannah Gibb, our Silver Medal recipient. Hannah is graduating with a perfect 4.0 GPA in her Bachelor of Science degree with a biological sciences major and a psychology minor. Exactly. Her professors admire how she approaches every element of her education with a keen desire to learn. She's a student who seeks out advice and seeks feedback on her work, looks for diverse opportunities available to her, such as leading group discussions, giving presentations, and preparing annotated bibliographies. Always, she asks her professors where she can improve. The fact that Hannah has maintained such an exemplary GPA is a testament to her intellectual curiosity and the approach she takes to learning, understanding that knowing something is simply the first step to learning more. One of her professors said, "Instructors might get frustrated when we provide feedback on work early in the course and then students ignore it and make the same mistakes again." I have no idea what that professor is talking about. Hannah was the exact opposite of that. She took every piece of feedback, every learning opportunity, and every experience where she did not start off as well as she wanted and used it as a starting point to build stronger skills. Hannah, you have built the strongest skills, and it is my pleasure to present you the Governor General's Silver Medal. Congratulations.
Thank you, Craig, and congratulations, Hannah. Next up, President's Medal. The President's Medal recognizes graduating students who have made an outstanding contribution to campus activities while maintaining a superior academic record. The recipient of the President's Medal is Elaine Tran, a graduate of the Sociology program in the Bachelor of Arts. Elaine achieved a GPA of 3.463 over the course of her program, and her academic work includes a published paper, an academic book review, and a second-place finalist in an international essay competition. Elaine is also an advocate for students through her work with the Students' Association at MacEwan. She promoted a more diverse campus through her work with Champions of Diversity and Equity and by helping to create the Human Rights, Diversity, and Equity Student Club. She has taken on critical contemporary topics. Her honors thesis analyzed the discourse around anti-Asian racism amid the COVID-19 pandemic in Canadian, local, and national media. Elaine's passion for community is demonstrated in her work with the John Humphrey Centre for Peace and Human Rights, Girl Up Alberta, and the Big Brothers Big Sisters organization. Among our many successful, creative, and innovative graduates, Elaine's work and attitude stood out. Indeed, one of her nominators wrote, "I rarely see students with such deep intellectual curiosity, perseverance, and grit." I am immensely proud to present to you the President's Medal for Academic Excellence and Student Leadership. All right. Oh, good. this time, I invite Dr. Maliki Shalaman back to the podium.
In each faculty and school at MacEwan University, we recognize the students whose academic efforts place them at the top of their class. The Dean's Medals are the highest academic honor that may be granted by a faculty, and these medals recognize the exemplary success of individual students in an area of study. One award may be granted in a certificate or diploma program, and one award in a degree program. The Dean's Medal for Academic Excellence in a degree program in the Faculty of Arts and Science is awarded to Jessica Tuznik, a graduate of the Bachelor of Science program. I would like to invite our winner to join me here on stage. In selecting the recipient of the Dean's Medal, academic achievement is the first consideration. Jessica is an exceptionally high-achieving student who earned a perfect GPA of 4.0. She had not a single grade below A and completed an eye-watering 25 courses with a grade of A+. However, her strengths go well beyond achieving top marks. Jessica was genuinely interested in the course material, not just in obtaining a high grade. Her professors called her a model student and praised her great depth of thought, insight, and intellectual curiosity. She excelled at learning things on her own and worked at a sophisticated level. In her honors thesis, for example, she completed a highly complex statistical analysis of her data that, I hear, even challenged her honors supervisor. In addition to all her coursework, she worked part-time as an X-ray technician. After graduation, Jessica hopes to complete a degree in medicine. In short, Jessica has been an exceptional student, and there is no doubt she will do exceptionally well in her academic career going forward. I congratulate you on your achievements, Jessica. Eminent Chancellor and Madame President, I now present to you the following graduates from the Faculty of Arts and Science.
And now presenting graduates receiving their Bachelor of Arts. Hayat Abdul Hakim. Nasim Hussein Abu Hassan. Yaldar Abzak. Devin James Ackroyd. Tiana Marie Aleph Matthews. Mark Larry Alexander. Zara El Tawil.
Patricia Ann Anderson. Tatiana Lynn Anderson. Elizabeth Kate Austin. Zoe Elishwa Ayuka. Courtney Nicole Babikchuk, with distinction. Madison Paula Badger, with distinction. Alicia Faith Barth.
Ashley Candace Balin. Evan Paul Berube. Jillian Berline, with distinction. Dallas Leah Billick. Christine Joy Casanablancas, with distinction. Sarah Dawn Bonavink. Ruwan Gideon Bauer, with distinction. Carly Alexandra Bruce.
Mason Burdnick. Leighton Jesse BM, with distinction. Shalene Shitrakar. Emily Mary Clark. Sarah Elizabeth Coleman. Kathleen Esther Ida Cook. Emily Margaret Cooper. Antonio Alejandro Córdoba.
Sharon Cree, with distinction. Matilda Cronshaw. Avery Solomon Ray Colfer LaBelle. Ian Gregory Coates Cusack. Brianne Marie Dagenet. Monroe Winston Davis. Brianna Rains Dawson. Christina Gabrielle Alvarado de Castro.
Rex Ivan Babasa de la Cruz. Joyce Janine Demchuk. Amanda Horleys de Brule, with distinction. Damilola Adedamola Efuwape. Maria Francesca Encila. Stephanie Engstrom, with distinction.
Christine Jamie Erickson. Dustin John Etherington. Acacia Casselane Fallis. Angela Marie Felgate. Michaela Christine Fillion. Savannah Mystique Fitch. Brooke Rory Moad Freeman. Nathan Peter Matthew Fuhr with distinction.
Beilul Rusam Geber-Hewitt. Matthew Mark Gonsalves. Natalie Rose Gould. Danielle Paige Guthrie, with distinction. Julia Marie Hakes, with distinction. Jennifer Morgan Hallett. Kimberly Cynthia Hanlan.
Alexa Hansen. Shelby Hayes. Jenna Lynn Herbert. Niles Douglas Hitchmo. Rachel Ann Hoburn. Hannah Marie Hoffman, with distinction. Jeffrey Daniel Holmes, with distinction. Nicole Clara Huell, with distinction.
Ron Joshua Javier. Rhea Carval. Nwali Kaji Jaho. Neve Kerr. Ayman Hamida Kogar. Eric Helene, with distinction. Jessica Kumar, with distinction.
Jean-Christian Marc Labonte. Victoria Marie La Liberté. Jenna May Lamb. Mary Lourdette Mapala Lambe. Madeline Lindsay Langer. Aurora Raquel Leddy. Yiyun Lee. Kieran Johanna Ann Lego Henderson.
Morgan Jeffrey Lester. Sean Adam McKnight. Darian Krishna Mami. Claire Maxine McHale, with distinction. Amanda Raid Matthias. Bailey Ann Louisa Mathewson Toms. Madison Delane Matthews. Jaime Enrique Maya Garcia.
Dylan Sean McCarthy Daniels. Michael Douglas McKay. Laura May Mella. Bailey Kathleen Miller. Shauna Erin Mills. Aisha Ibrahim Mohammed. Rahana Mohammed. Mari Nicholas Lim Montserrat with distinction. Jessica Grace Mora.
Amanda Jennifer Mulholland. Alicia Christina Nagaya. Elisa Mariko Naka. With distinction. Michaela Catherine Nanouche. Lorida Nasay. Megan Amanda Nixon. Mitchell Anders Calhoun Nuremberg.
Cassandra Ogilvy with distinction. Dharma Jean Pajay Hebert. Kayla Dawn Patrick with distinction. Emma Corrine Pearson. Maria Christina Pearson. Ariana Augusta Pereira. Jasmine Permanent. Kiana Peter. Emily Elizabeth Peterson.
Taylor Petty. Glenn Phillip. Eric Sebastian Pietraszek. With distinction. Alicia Claire Potra. Victoria Popovich. Aisha Brahmi. Alexandra Deborah Lita Ramsey. With distinction.
Rachel Laura Louisa Raybon. Claudia Morelli Ray. Andreas Felipe Rincon. Simon Gabriel Robertson with distinction. Amanda Marie Ann Robinson with distinction. Layla May Rosser with distinction. Jacob Aaron Rowe. Tanner Jacob Roy. Parker Peter Satter.
Farid Youssef Sayeh. Zachary Richard Schauer, with distinction. Farsana Shahizada. Nikita Sharma. Hannah Ross Shepard. Dawood Anwar Shimsa. Shay Gabrielle Shindak, with distinction.
Abilhasha Singh. Alistair William Sliter. Noah Gerald Smith. Brianna Courtney Sorensen, with distinction. Courtney Lynn Sorensen. Megan Louise Steiner. Morgan Kathleen Stephen. Victoria Gabrielle Stringham. Brett Richard Eric Strong. Lindsay Marie Strelzek, with distinction.
Adam Patrick Sutherland. Tori Emma Svekla. Troy Daniels Taylor. Dia Kamlesh Takar. Annalena Thiessen. Christopher Michael Turco. Christine Emily Unra, with distinction.
Caitlin Elise Yuri. Belinda Valois. Shadanpreet Vashishat. Kirsten Elizabeth Wall. Morgan Josephine Walter. Joanne Elaine Warner. Panashi Wawara. Hamdi Mohammed Warfa. Chloe Adeline Watson.
Courtney Nicole Weber. Caitlin Weinberger. Krista Ayla Wellman. Austin Thomas Whittle. Claire Wisnera. Matthew Lloyd Peter Yanish. Adar Ahmed Yusuf. Tanis Christina Sadunaiski.
And lastly, Christine Zolondek, with distinction.
Faculty change? No, just right on Bachelor of Science.
And now presenting graduates receiving their Bachelor of Science. Hala Abdul Fattah Abdullahi. Walid Kasim Abugash. Azmaid Abraha.
Amir Abbas Abtahi. Sashwat Adhikari. Hannah Isabel Ason. Dylan James Hunter Alexander. Katrina Mara Arar. Olorunwa Aruleba. Asal Atesh, with distinction.
Harmanpreet Auk. Ayla Bajwal. John Ryan Thomas Banak. Rosario Miles Baudin. Soktanvir Bhatti. Bhavish Kumar Bunjan. Michaela Grace Blake Bendrian. Danny Busada.
Erin Lynn Bowes. Brianna Lynn Boyle. Brittany Daisy Lee Brown, with distinction. Bailey Alexandra Bolmer, with distinction. Haley Jean Calder. Mario Ezequiel Calderón. Samuel Adam Chevalier.
Adib Andy Schmeit. Ryan Schmeit. Nathan Chung. Lindsay Teresa Connors. Emily Elizabeth Zabar, with distinction. Manbir Singh Dhaliwal. Sawyer Dilworth. Renice Kate Dominguez.
Mitchell David Bridger. Ryan Camille Dachnowski. Matthew Colin Durocher, with distinction. Kyle James Edwards. Shiraz Mohammed El Radi. Quinn Bing Gan Eng, with distinction. Danny Ray Enarios Estador.
Kyle Thomas Gibson. Talia Ruth Solveig Robinson Goa. Paige Lindsay Marie Goshko. Benjamin Roy Greenbank. Axel William Joseph Grist. Dahlia Fame Hamden, with distinction. Peter Austin Eli Haynes. Pawanjot Singh Sir.
Marko Hulschovetsky. Mohammed Hocho. Tanner Ryan Holt. Kayla Hudson. Erin Elizabeth Hunka. Sana Imtiaz. Kennedy Marie Irving.
Nialesh Jabin. Diego Andreas Jackson Padilla. Zushen Jiang. Tyler Riel Jodoin with distinction. Ty William Joinson with distinction. Dylan Thomas Jones. Lauren Elizabeth Kalita. Jasneet Singh Kali. Tanvir Kaur. Whitney Rayan Kisar.
Gurnor Singh Kara. Michaela Alyssa Kirkpatrick with distinction. Sienna Jordan Kleback with distinction. Hallie Anne-Marie Klein. Manjot Kaur Kohli. Chun Yin Hwan. Emmett Nathan Kyler with distinction.
Jessica Andrea Lalana with distinction. Sharon Lee. Kirsten Kayla Latender. Tuan Min Liu. Wan Shan Lim with distinction. James Russell Loretto. Mohammed Mardan. Vanessa and Manuela Martins. Kaylee Jade Martin. Reagan Janae McCarthy.
Morgan Ashley McCloy. Sarah Lily McLean. Brittany Catherine Mercer. Leroy George Milton. Loretta Ifewa Mora. William James Morrissey, with distinction. Julie Meyer, with distinction.
Ashley Permala Naidu. Iraj Nauman. Elaine May Arabe Navalta. Troy Darren Nielsen with distinction. Richie Nguyen. Eddie Dushemi Nkerabahazi.
Rahul Ode. Kenny Iyanu Oladunjoye. Kevin John Andrew Olafson. Haley Marie Onuchki. Gina Joy Lassam Orbita. Nirash Parashar. Jasmine Nadine Parr, with distinction.
Neha Vijay Kumar Patel. Katerina Petko. Sheila Fan. Mayori Nandini Pillai. Flavius Ponorau. Francesca Teresa Pontestio. Nicholas Dylan Powers. Maika Ria Punsalan.
Najib Rahal. Harmpreet Singh Rai. Sarah Louise Romanek. Garrett Matthew Raymond Rule. Connor James Russell. Zabik. Muhammad Nisar Safa, with distinction.
Nagam Fayad Saleh, with distinction. Ernesto Luigi Santos. Sarah Margaret Sereda. Shant Ian Kumar Sharma. Shelby Lillian Marjorie Sherlock. Raiden Allen Broder Simmons.
Cole Anthony Sinclair. Jordan Allen Slesser. Christopher Shane Smith, with distinction. Caitlin McDonald Springer. Samantha Aileen Sidor. Martin Tarnowski. Javier Andrés Tellería.
Gigimantas Tenis. Jordan Ray Thomas. Mackenzie Lee Thomas, with distinction. Helen Tiet. Dinan Tran, with distinction. Pauline Danielle Veloso. Albert Nguyen Vu. Annalise Marie Walker.
Devin Kennedy Winehandle. Taylor Liam Whidden, with distinction. Mallory Bryn Willing. Robin Christina Wills. Stephanie Ruth Hannah Wilton. Jordan Michael Wolski. Nathan Wong.
Ziun Zhou. Katerina Donna Ann Zimmerman. Sarah Jaslyn Zurowski. Kayla Christine Dornan. And lastly, Ahmad Ali Al-Tassi.
Congratulations to all our award winners and our graduating class of 2022. And I have to commend this particular ceremony because the graduates really got the MacEwans hit their mark, took full advantage of that, and friends and family in the crowd, we have the best seat here because we can see your graduates smile when you clap and cheer, and sometimes when you say things like, that's my brother, that's my mother, although sometimes if you go too far, we get the opposite reaction. No, just kidding. So MacEwan turned 50. We had a 50th anniversary this year. And what a better way to celebrate our 50th than to let our students tell our story. There's many ways to tell stories. This past fall, the Faculty of Fine Arts and Communication and the Faculty of Arts and Science collaborated to commission an original choral work to celebrate MacEwan. The lyricist of this piece is convocating today, Wednesday morning, from the Faculty of Arts and Science, which means she's here. The musical composer is convocating tomorrow from the Faculty of Fine Arts and Communication. I think you will find that this choral piece captures the excellence of our students and the creative, collaborative community that is MacEwan, a community of possibility.
Oh,
That was Heart of the City, composed by Bachelor of Music student Aaron Adoricio, with poetry and lyrics written by Bachelor of Arts student Madison Matthews. One more round of applause, please. So I know everybody's feeling very relieved, so just relax. We want to now hear from our President's Medal winner to give the student address, and we're going to hear from some alumni, and then we're going to have our Chancellor close the program. So just relax. You walked across the stage, nothing to worry about. I will now ask Elaine Traun, the President's Medal recipient, to provide the student address to our Spring 2022 graduates. She's back.
Thank you, Dr. Trimby, for the introduction. Welcome administrators, faculty, distinguished guests, family, friends, and of course, the graduating class of 2022. When I was asked to share a message with all of you today, I recalled an adage from my dad. Cut the crap and get to the point. And with that, I will aim to keep my remarks brief. After reflecting and ruminating on the past 5 years I've spent at MacEwan, I realized what made my experience a uniquely fruitful, joyous, and rewarding one. My sense of courage, curiosity, and resilience. I arrived at MacEwan in the fall of 2017. I had just graduated high school a few months earlier, and I entered the clock tower doors with eagerness and excitement at the abilities I would develop, the experiences I would acquire, and the knowledge I would gain. Though, like many of you I'm sure, as much as I was excited and grateful, I was equally afraid and fearful. Today, as we celebrate our accomplishments and achievements, I hope that we can look back and reflect on the seasons that have passed us in our educational journey and be reminded of our unapologetic and unwavering courage, curiosity, and resilience. Our sense of courage and curiosity has led us to achieve and experience many firsts. Like me, some of you may be the first to graduate university in your family, the first to introduce yourself to someone new, the first to offer your perspective in class, the first to ask a question that has never been asked, the first to re-enter post-secondary after many years away from formal education, or the first to fulfill and live your dreams. Our sense of resilience has led us through minus 30-degree days running to catch the 7:30 a.m. train, to cramming last minute for a midterm, to crying at least once on campus, to drinks at towers amid finals season, to napping at any open spot you could find, to encouraging conversations with instructors and faculty members, to laughs shared on the way to class, to standing in the 27-foot-long Tim Hortons line in Building 6, and to surviving in a global pandemic. Our sense of resilience is not short in supply. I hope you know that all of these experiences, some daunting and unspoken of, led you to today, one of the most exciting and rewarding days of your life. Finally, I'd like to take a moment to acknowledge the people that contributed to my 5 years here. Thank you to my dad, my brother Kevin, the trio of women who raised me, Magnum, Paula, Makai, Austin, my partner, my friends, and of course, my instructors. Thank you for empowering, supporting, and uplifting me when I needed it the most. I am here because of you. As I look out into the crowd today, I feel immense joy and pride because I am confident that all of us, to draw on what Dr. J.W. Grant MacEwan has said, will leave MacEwan a better place than we found it, and will continue to make great strides of positive change in each and every one of our future endeavors. We will continue to have courage, be curious, and exemplify resilience. Congratulations, class of 2022. We have so much to be proud of.
Well done, Elaine. You clearly model all of the values that the various speakers before you have spoken about today. I'm glad you chose MacEwan, and I want to thank your family for supporting you, and I want to thank you for giving such a marvelous student address today. I now request Jed Johns, Alumni Association representative, to the podium to introduce the distinguished alumni recipient.
Tanse, Nanaskamun, good morning. Alumni are university's greatest legacy, and each year MacEwan recognizes the outstanding contributions and achievements of its graduates through the Distinguished Alumni Award. Presented at a ceremony held earlier this spring, we are pleased to have Vivian Yang join us today to deliver the alumni message to you, the newest members of the alumni community. Vivian Yang is a communications professional with a passion for engaging people and communities. She is pursuing interdisciplinary doctoral studies, anthropology, and engineering through the University of Alberta's Future Energy Systems Research Initiative as a Shirk Joseph Armand Bombardier CGSD Scholar and Fulbright Canada Scholarship recipient. Her doctoral research aims to inform and develop equitable community engagement processes and communication frameworks for approaching renewable energy development responsibly and sustainably while respecting Indigenous rights. Aho. Thank you.
Board Chair, Chancellor, President, Provost, stage party, graduates, and guests, I am honored to be speaking to you today. When we are young, one of the most often asked questions is, what do you want to be? Later in life, this question turns to, what do you want to study? And now that you're graduating, the question will become, what do you do? The heart of all these questions is the same. What defines you? And a little less obvious of the last question, are you successful? The most challenging issue I faced as a student at MacEwan University and as a professional was trying to define myself and my success based on ideas of what I should be. I changed my program 2 years into university. In my head, I thought, maybe I should stick it out and graduate with my peers. I left the workforce to volunteer abroad for 1.5 years. In my head, I thought, maybe I should stay put and advance my career. I went back to school, not once, but twice, and the second time in a completely different field. In my head, I thought, I should know what I want to do with my life by now. But all of those thoughts of maybe I should were simply expectations. And we all know that each of us have a unique journey with different goals and measurements of success. So I ask, what defines you? The credential you earn today is a significant achievement. Your credential, together with the knowledge, skills, and network you gained at MacEwan University, is a springboard to the next phase of your journey, whether you work in your chosen field or elsewhere. However you navigate your unique journey, success boils down to what you value and how you let your values drive your actions. For me, I value growth in myself and in others. I value knowledge to serve people. Those values drive my decisions and actions. The experiences and knowledge I gained from each decision, changing programs, leaving the workforce, returning to school, changed the trajectory of my life. I could not see it at the time. In fact, I was anxious each time. But each decision brought new opportunities and greater satisfaction that I was fulfilling my purpose in life. Sometimes, change is not your decision, or the thing you desire the most will not come to fruition. I've had that many times, and it was hard. It was painful. But when I went back to what defines me, my values, I found my way. And you can too. Today, you're joining a network of over 84,000 MacEwan alumni who are making a difference in their professions and communities. Remember the sacrifices that you made that led to today's result. That level of sacrifice is the same needed to make your mark in the world. Yet, we don't do it alone. My parents are ethnic Chinese from Vietnam. My mother's family was too poor to send her to school. The war denied my father the opportunity to go to university. When they and my sisters came to Canada, they were given a choice: learn English to go to school, or work to provide for our family and to quickly repay their government refugee loan. My parents felt the right choice was to sacrifice their desire for higher education and invest in their children's education and future instead. I'm thankful for my family, as well as for my friends and instructors who helped guide me throughout my life. Remember those who helped you get to where you are today, whomever they may be, and remember to give back to others. Your learning does not end today. Challenge your thinking. Make room to grow. Ask yourself, what defines me? I warmly welcome you as the newest members of the MacEwan University alumni community, the class of 2022. Congratulations and best wishes as you navigate the next phase of your journey. Thank you.
Thank you, distinguished alumna Vivian Jiang, for that very touching story of your winding path through life and for the lessons that you learned and the importance for all of us to define our values, reflect and define our values and hold to them no matter where we find ourselves. This brings us to the closing moments of our ceremony. And I would like to thank all of you who have joined us in person and online today. It gives me great pleasure to thank the many people in our MacEwan community who have worked hard to make this convocation happen. Faculty, I want to thank you all for your work. You ensured that your students were engaged in meaningful academic experiences that have built their successes here today. Graduates, I'd like once again to congratulate you on your success. While this signifies the end of your academic career here at MacEwan, it is not the end of your lifelong journey of learning. I know that there are many people that helped you on your journey thus far. I'd like to invite you, our graduates, to express your appreciation to those who have supported you along the way. Would the faculty, family, and friends of our graduates please rise? Graduates, a round of applause, please. Faculty, family, and friends, you may be seated. And now in turn, I ask the graduates to rise, and I invite our audience, faculty, and staff to join me in congratulating our graduates of 2022. Now, just before we close, I would like to ask faculty, family, and friends, please remain seated. When we close, the platform party will leave. The students will all leave, sorry, the graduates. I've caught myself in the past here. Our graduates will leave, and please, everyone else, wait until the graduates have left and then leave. So with that, I declare this convocation closed.
Okay, now, go stand by the podium. Jay, stand with her.
You just have to know the right people. Exactly. Or just hang out in the right spot. Yeah. Get lucky. So we have to go quick.
Sure.
And don't advertise.
No.
Okay. Thank you so very much. Thank you so very much. Yeah. No, I think we're good. I'll show you the easier way to get out so you don't have to cut stuff. It's a lot. Oh, I'll grab it. That's easy.
You wanna go?
Do you want to throw on the hat?
Thank you.
Want to put ring and throw on the hat?
Here. Okay, hold on.
Yeah, let me back up because that was really high. Hang on.
Just be careful.
Okay, 1, 2, 3.
We have to hurry. Do you get it?
Yeah.